Hi, how are you? I'm Officer Mark James with the Forest Park Police Department and your security manager contracted through my security company, TriArms Security Solutions. This is your first security bank safety message covering some safety tips and information about what to do and what to look for in the event of a robbery situation, as well as some other safety tips, reminders, and information. I would like to start off first by thanking you for taking the time to watch this video and allowing me to share this information with you. Alright, so let's get to our topic. Let us begin with some robbery prevention information. We will be talking about some of the following points and how they can prevent the bad guy from making an effort to commit the robbery at our location. Some of those points that we'll be talking about are alertness, our opening procedures, detecting casing, the movement of money, safes and vaults, what to do during an active robbery, and again, as a reminder of our closing procedures. All right, so let's talk about alertness. We've covered some information in our previous video before on where that begins, and that's at home. So let's talk about alertness at our banking location. The bad guys will like to use the element of surprise to their advantage, and they can commit their crime with that. You can also show that you're alert and paying attention by maintaining eye contact with your customers, by greeting them when they enter, by saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, how are you, and the good old how can I help you, may I help you technique. Be sure to pay attention to the customer's actions and their clothing and their demeanor. Are they agitated? Are they upset? Are they short-tempered? Just to name a few things. Also, just be mindful of their clothing. Does the clothing fit the weather? We're in our summer months right now. Could they be trying to conceal a weapon? You know, the old, it's 130 degrees out in Oklahoma City, humidity's 100%, and someone's walking in with a trench coat, a sweater, a jacket, a hood on, and so on. So that should bring attention to you. Remember, weapons can be concealed in just about anything. A newspaper, magazines, flowers. So be mindful and observant and aware of these types of things. Now that you know how to be alert and observant, that leads us into the process of opening the bank. What are some of our opening procedures that we will be performing? Let's talk about it for a second. At our particular location, your security team will always be first to arrive and last to leave. The security or police officer on duty will enter the bank and turn off all the alarms. They will turn on all the lights and physically check the interior for any hazards, water leaks, lights that may be out, and for any intruders that may be inside. After ensuring that the bank is empty, safe, and free from any hazards, the officer will then provide the designated signal that the bank is all clear and safe to enter. You've all been trained and know what that signal is. I won't mention it here. Now, that brings us into detecting casing. We're doing our regular business day, and this gives us some ideas of what to look for. So, you'll use some of the same techniques mentioned previously. Generally speaking, you'll want to watch for customers or visitors that will come into our banking location and just use the restroom or just linger or something like that. They just don't have any banking business, okay? So first, before we assume they're up to no good, let's give them just a few moments. They may end up needing some assistance with the bank. If not, and they just wait around or linger, let's go ahead and approach them by using the phrase, how can I help you? Or may I help you? Or what can I help you with? If they do not have any banking business at that time, you can ask them to leave. If you feel as though the person is escalating the conversation, your security team will engage themselves into the conversation in the same way by asking how they can help them. If they escalate with the security team, then they will be asked to leave. So be aware of any suspicious vehicles also on the outside that may be occupied either in the parking lot or the adjoining streets. You as a bank employee, do not approach the vehicle yourself. Let the on-duty security officer, police officer on duty know what you have and let them approach the vehicle for you. Always be polite, always be courteous and helpful in your tone, as we do not want to escalate any situation any further. You just don't know if the customer or person you're speaking to is a potential bad guy. Now, let's move on to the topic of the movement of money within our location. At our location, this is a very critical time, moving money within the bank location itself. Thankfully, we're a single location. We don't have to worry about bank transportations of money and funds off property or off site. And our ATM machine is right here. So, let's talk about the movement of money within our location. First, I'd like to encourage you to refer to any policies and procedures that are in place there at First Security Bank and consult with your immediate supervisor for specific details if you are not sure. I, however, on this video will only be speaking generally. Okay, now that we've got that covered, always remember that it's always good practice to have more than one person with you, okay? If another bank employee is unable to go with you, then you may contact your security officer or police officer that's on duty, and they will assist you or escort you. Always move money in a container or bag that is inconspicuous at any time when it's possible. For example, use a shopping bag, a carrying case, or anything that just doesn't bring any attention to you that says you've got a lot of money on you. If applicable, again, please refer to your policies and your procedures and any instructions given to you by your immediate supervisor here at First Security Bank. Now, let's talk about the safes and vaults. Opening the safes and the vaults, personally, I have observed that they're usually opened prior to the bank lobby opening time for customers. Be sure to keep the inner safes and compartments locked if access is not necessary. Also be sure that your safe is locked and secured after business hours or when they're not in use. Be sure that all logs, paperwork, and forms are completed in its entirety. Just a reminder, be sure that you follow the policies and procedures that are outlined with your immediate supervisor and instructions set forth by First Security Bank. Alright, so we're at work, and what do if the bad guy decides to rob the bank? What do we look for during an active robbery situation? The best way to increase the chance that the bad guy or robber gets caught is that we want to gather as much information as we possibly can about them so we can give that information to the police. So, keep the following things in your mind. Carefully look at the robber and ask yourself, what is the robber's race? How tall are they? How old do they look? Their weight, their build. Do they have any visible tattoos, facial hair? What kind of clothes are they wearing? Do they have any weapons? What kind of weapon is it? Is it a revolver? Is it an automatic pistol? A shotgun? A knife? Think about any of the robber's mannerisms, how they walk, how they talk, how they stand, how they carry themselves. And first and foremost, remain calm. Follow the directions of the robber. With that being said, do not activate the alarm unless it is safe to do so, or you can do it in secret. Make sure the robber does not see you reach or activate for anything. Again, I repeat myself. Do not activate the panic alarm unless it's safe to do so, or it can be done so secretly, okay? We have multiple different safeguards that are in place at our location there at First Security Bank that you've already been trained and aware of, so be sure that you're following those policies that you all have set in place. If at any time there is gunfire by the robber, immediately get down and lay flat on the ground. Okay? Again, if there is any gunfire at the location by the robber, immediately get down and lay flat on the ground. The security officer or police officer on duty at that time will be authorized at their discretion to use force to protect your lives at that point. Okay? Now, once the robber has left, make any observations of the direction of travel, make or model of any vehicle that he may or she may have departed in, or any other information that you can provide. Okay? Alright, so now that we've covered what to do in that critical incident, like an active robbery situation, let's talk about our closing procedures. We're back to a normal, regular business day. This just serves as a reminder for all of us. So, the security officer or police officer on duty will lock and secure the doors at the scheduled closing time first. Also, the lobby is closed sign will be placed in the window. The officer will then check all common areas, lobby, offices, and restrooms to ensure that all customers are no longer inside and have left the building. All lights will be turned off as specified, and the closing staff members will wait for the setting of the alarm and then will be escorted out by the security officer or police officer on duty. Be sure to already have your keys out in your hand. Be looking outside for any vehicles or people prior to exiting the building. Once you're inside your vehicle, be sure to lock your doors first. Then, start your vehicle and begin any other tasks that you have to do. The security officer or police officer on duty will remain on duty and present there in the parking lot until the last staff member leaves. Okay? Well, that covers our safety video for today as far as information with robbery situations. I hope that you enjoyed this video and you found it helpful. If you have any questions, concerns, please let me know, or your immediate supervisor or the officer on duty know. On behalf of myself and my security and police officers there at your location, it's our pleasure to serve you, and we thank you so much for allowing TriArms Security Solutions to meet your security and safety needs. Take care, thanks again, and have a safe day.